Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of UnitPals. I am Ashok Raja. In this video, I'll explain you about Linux folder structure, different types of Linux file system, directory navigation, and how to work with files and folders in detail. Okay, so unlike Windows operating system, there is no C drive or D drive in Linux. The Linux file system is structured like a tree and everything starts say from the root, which is represented as an slash that you see in the left hand side. There are certain folders that are expected to be part of a typical Linux environment. This folder structure and the contents of this folder are governed by file system hierarchy standard of Linux. Say this standard is maintained by Linux Foundation, and the current version of the standard is 3.0, which was released during 2015. The right hand side table lists some of the default folders and its purpose. To name a few, the bin is the folder that contains executables, and the sbin contains some system binaries. Etc is the folder that contains the configuration, the details, and the home folder contains the home directory of all users. So this is similar to the desktop folder of the users in Windows. Say OPT folder is the location for third party applications, and the temp folder is the location for the temporary files, and the var folder contains say the logs and the other related the information. Okay, now let's come back uh, to Linux file system. So similar to FAT32 and NTFS file system in Windows world, there are different file systems available in Linux. One of the popular file system is the ext file system or the extended file system, and it is the first file system created for Linux. ext4 is the fourth extended file system, and it is the commonly used file system in Linux, and it is the fastest of all the ext file systems. Okay. Say the JFS or the journaled file system is a 64-bit file system created by IBM primarily for AIX Unix systems. The Razer FS was considered as an alternative for ext3. It was primarily used in SUSE till 2006. XFS is an high-performance 64-bit journaling file system created by the Silicon Graphics, and it is mainly used by Red Hat Linux. BTRFS or the B-tree file system was initially developed by Oracle, and as of now it is the default file system in Fedora 33. Let me log in into the Linux environment and see how to find the file system details. To view the file system, the command is df-t. So the ext4 is the file system that is being used in my environment. Okay, say this is the way to find the file system that is in use in your respective operating system or respective Linux operating system. Okay, so let's start with the directory navigation. The cd or change directory is the command to navigate from one folder to the another folder. To view the content of the current folder, the command is ls. Say there is a folder called as t1. Let's see how to navigate to that particular folder. The command is cd t1. Now you are in the t1 folder. To navigate back to the parent folder, the command is cd dot dot. Now I am back to the parent folder. To view the full path of the current folder, execute the command pwd. So this will return the full path of the current folder. So this is the home folder of the user. And the easiest way to identify the home folder is the tilde symbol. Say that indicates that you are at the home folder. Okay. So to navigate to the root folder, the command is cd backslash. Say now you are in the root location, and the symbol have also changed to the backslash. Say and to navigate back to the home folder, either you can give the full path of that folder or just a cd and the tilde symbol. Now you will be navigated back to the home folder. Same, if you wanted to navigate back to the previous folder, the command is cd and the hyphen. So irrespective of which folder you have navigated, the cd hyphen space hyphen will navigate back to your, say, the previous location from where you are. Okay, that's it. Okay. Okay, so now let's move on to the next topic on the creating and deleting files. Let me clear the screen. Okay, see, there are different ways to create a file in Linux file system. Say the typical and usual way is to call the touch command. Say with touch command, touch t1.txt. This would create an file. Oh, I'm in a root directory, so that's the reason I don't have any permission to create the file. So we would be dealing with the files and the file permission in the subsequent videos in detail. Let me move on to my root folder. Okay. Now let me execute the touch. Touch t1.txt ls. Now the file is created. t1.txt is created. And the next option is to create a file with uh, the out symbol t2.txt ls. Say the file is created, and you can also use cat command to create a file, cat t3.txt. Now you have to provide the arrow key. Okay, let me provide some content. Hello from cat and control C. Now ls file t3 is created. You can also use echo command to create a file. Echo hello from echo. Okay, t4.txt ls. Okay, so the fourth file is also created. If you like to view the content of the file, say cat t4.txt, it returned the output of the t4.txt. Okay, so similar to the echo, you can also use printf hello from printf and t5.txt ls cat t5.txt. Okay, so it have returned the output of that particular file. Okay, say the other than this, there are the different options to create a file through the file editors or the text editors that are available in Linux. Most of the Linux environment will have the editor called as the Vim. Say that's an advanced version of an editor called as Y. Say that is the oldest editor in Linux. Say, let's create a file through the file editors. Vi t6.txt. Okay. Now press the I. It will change the editor to insert mode. Now hello from vi. Okay. Escape colon wq and enter. Now if I try to view the output, cat t6.txt. Okay, so this is what the content that we created or inserted over there. Now let me use vim t7.txt, the same sequence of command. I, now it is in say the edit mode. Hello from vim, escape, wq, enter. Okay, now let's see the output of that particular file. Okay, so the file is created. You can also use the editor nano say t8.txt. Hello from nano. Control X, yes, Y for yes, enter, right. So cat t8.txt. Okay. So now we have seen 8 different ways to create a file in Linux. Okay. Right. So let's move on to the next topic of creating. Okay. So the deleting a file. So let's see what are all the files that are created. There are T1, T2, T3, multiple files have been the created. To delete a file, the command is rm and the file name. Let me delete the t1.txt. ls t1.txt is deleted. If you would like to delete multiple files, then you can append the file names rm, t2.txt, t3.txt, t4.txt. Everything is separated by n space. Enter, ls. Now all these files are deleted. Only t5, t6, t7, and t8 are remain. Right. Now let's move on to the directory creation part. Okay. So to create a directory, the command is mkdir and the directory name. Say, let me create a folder called as the d1. ls, the folder d1 is created, and to navigate to the d1, we saw the command cd and d1. Now we are in the d1 directory. Let me go back to my parent directory. Okay, so if you wanted to create an directory in an recursive mode, say you wanted to create a directory f1, and inside which you have to create a folder f2 and then f3 and keep going. Say for that, the command is mkdir -p, say f1 slash f2 slash f3. Okay, now if you look at, there is a folder called as f1. Let me navigate to f1, and if I ls, there is a folder inside f1 called f2. Let me navigate inside f2. Again a folder is there with the name f3, cd f3. Right, so no more folders. Okay, to go back to my root or my home folder, it's cd tilde, and now I am back to my home folder. Okay, right. So to delete a folder, the command is still rm, but an additional flag has to be passed. It is rf, recursive and force. And now I will pass the folder name. Let me pass the folder name f1. Okay, ls, the folder f1 and its children are deleted. Right. Okay. So to view some additional details about the file, you can also use a command called the stat t8.txt that would return the information like at what time it is been created, modified, changed, and what's the size of the file, and everything it will return. Say this command is also applicable for folders as well. Stat d1, and say this returns the similar kind of the information about that particular folder. Okay, so let's move on to directory listing. ls is the command to view the list of files and the folders. To view it in the long format, the command is ls-l. Now it would return the file along with the file size, group, user, and the related information. To view the content or view the hidden files and folders, the command is ls-la. This would return the files and folders along with the hidden files and folders as well. Hidden files and folders will start with the dot. So if you see here, dot bash history, dot bash logout, and all these files are the hidden files. ls-la returns the hidden files and the folders as well. Okay. And if you look at all these files are listed in the alphabetical order. If we wanted to reverse that order, then the command is ls-a, la, and r. R would reverse the order. Now T8 have came to the top, and it is being in the descending order. Okay, so the it is also displaying the file size in an KB. But if you wanted to display the information in MB or the GB or and somewhat a human readable form, then the command is ls-la, or you just need to add a flag h. Say it doesn't matter whether you have a or r. It is not important, but it should be in the long format. So the l has to be there and the h has to be there. Okay. So it is returning in the human readable form. Okay, right. So if you wanted to recursively return the content of the file, the command is ls capital R. It would recursively return the content of the file. Say it is trying to list the content of folder D1 and T1. Since we don't have any other files and folders within that folder, it is not returning. Let me create a file inside D1 and see whether it is returning or not. Okay, so let me go back to my previous screen and ls-r. Okay, so this would return the content of that particular folder as well. Okay, ls-l, it is returning the list of files and folders in the long format, and it is displaying in the alphabetical the order. Now let's say if you wanted to sort the content based on the time that it was created, then the command is append t. So it is getting sorted based on the time that was created in the descending order, 356, 337, and the related thing. And if you wanted to reverse that order, then add R. It will reverse the order in which that was created. Okay. And if you would like to sort the files based on the file size, then you have to append capital S. So depending on the file size, it will get sorted based on the file size. Say D1, T1, and is created, and then it is the files are getting listed. If you wanted to reverse that order, again you just add the R. Now the now it have moved to the say the ascending order based on the file size. Okay, and say if you wanted to view the output or pipe the output of this result to a specific file, then you can just greater than symbol and the file name, same list.txt or something. and ls, the content, the file is there, cat list.txt. So it is returning the output of the ls-lsr. So that is what it is been piped to that particular file. Okay, right. Say just in case if you wanted to view only the folders. So if that's the case, the command is ls hyphen ld star slash. Say this would return only the folders in that particular file. Okay, say hyphen d returns the folders, and the star and slash, say we are pointing to the current directory. Okay, say in case if you wanted to view the list of files, then there is no straightforward the approach. We may have to use some filters to get that information. Say let me show you the command first, then I'll explain how this works. And I'll also include all the file names, including the hidden files and everything. It is not necessary, but just in case if you wanted to have the hidden files, you can add the a grep hyphen v slash. Okay, same, this should return only the files. If I remove the a, okay, so this is returning only the files. Let's see what this command is doing. Okay, so first thing, we know L returns the output in a long format, and F returns the a symbol associated with the file or an directory. So if you see here, the directory contains a symbol slash, and similar to that, if there is an say a symbolic link, then it would be represented by at symbol. If it is an executable, then it would be represented by an star, and with that we can figure it out whether that particular the object is an file or a directory or the executable. So with that, what we are trying to do is we are trying to say use the grep command to filter the output. So if I just provide the slash, then it will return all the items that contains the slash. But we need the opposite. So we don't want to have the directory, we wanted to have the files. So instead of that, I'm just adding hyphen v. So it will ignore or it will skip that output, and it will return all the other values. Okay, so that is what it is returning here. And instead of the directory, now we are seeing all the files over here. Okay, so this is one workaround, but the other alternative option is to use the find command. Say the find, and say max depth equal to 1, and say type is f. Okay, so this returns all the files in that particular folder. Okay, right. Let's say if you wanted to return only uh, the files with this certain or the specific extension. If that's the case, you can use the command ls-l for the long listing and star.txt with a regular expression. So this would return only the files with extension txt. Say even if you add a, if there are any hidden text files, then it will return, or otherwise it will just return the files with just .txt. Okay, so let's see how to copy files and folders in Linux environment. cp is the command to copy files or folders, and say the argument is the source and the destination. cp, then the source path and the destination path. So this is the signature of this particular command. So let's say I just wanted to copy the file list.txt to T1 dot say T1 folder or D1 folder, whatever it is. Say, let me try to copy the file into the T1 directory. Okay. Say the command is cp and the source is list.txt and the destination is T1. Say T1. Okay. Now let me navigate to T1 and see whether I am having the file or not. Okay, so the file is there. So list.txt is there. Okay. And let me go back. And now if I wanted to copy the content of T1 into D1, say the entire folder T1 into D1. So if that's a command, cp T1 and D1. Okay. And say it is throwing a warning, and to copy and come say a folder and its content, then you may have to add a flag -r to recursively copy the folder and its content. So okay, there is a space is missing. Right. Now if I navigate to D1 and say the T1 folder is over there, and if I navigate again inside T1, say the files that are available inside T1 is also available over there. Okay. Right. So the one thing that you have to keep that in mind is, say, when you copy the file from one folder to the another folder, the target folder has to be there, or otherwise it will throw an error. Say if I try to copy the folder or the file T1 to some other directory, and if the directory is not present, then it will throw an error. Say copy command won't create a, directory. You have to explicitly create the directory before you copy the files to that particular folder or say the location. Okay. Now let's see how to use the move command. Say the move is similar to cut and paste in Windows World. So and a move command will also can also be used to rename a file. Say there is no concept called as or a command called as a rename in the Linux. Say move command can also use to rename a file. Right. Let's start with the rename option. Assume that I just wanted to rename the file t5.txt into t50.txt. So if that's the case, the command is t5.txt and t50.txt. Again, the source and the destination, similar to what we have done in copy. Okay, ls, and now the file have changed to t50.txt. Right. Same. Now assume that I just wanted to move the folder T1 to some other folder, or the T1 to say I just created a, let me create a folder called as mkdir f1, and if I wanted to move the folder T1 to f1, then the command is mb source is T1 and the destination is f1. And if I navigate to f1, T1 have been moved over here, and if I check it the root folder, T1 is not here, and T1 have been moved to the F1. And assume that if I wanted to rename F1, then still the same command mb F1, and I am renaming it to F10. Okay, ls, and now it have got renamed to F10. Okay, right. Say the other thing what we can see is how to create an symbolic link in Linux. Say the command to create the symbolic link is ln Let me navigate to the folder F10 and create a symbolic link for the file t7.txt that is there in the home folder. Okay, ln-s, then again the source and the destination. The source in our case say which file you have to which file you have to create the symbolic link. So let me start with my home folder t7.txt, and I have to create an link to the current folder with the name say t.txt. There is a space in between, and let me press enter. Now if I press ls-l, there is a file created with name t.txt, and that's an symbolic link to home dot home/dev/t7.txt. Okay, and if I try to view the content of this particular file, then it is returning the content of that file. So this works as if this particular file is located in this current folder. So that is how the symbolic link works. And if you wanted to remove the symbolic link, then the command is rm and the link name t.txt ls, and that is gone. And another the option to remove the symbolic link is unlink. That is also a command that you can use. Now let me create the link once again, and the link is there. To remove the link, the other command is unlink t.txt. Okay, ls, right. So the link is removed, but the file, the original file still remains there. Say the file is still there, t7.txt is still there, and it won't get removed because of removing or deleting the symbolic link. Okay, right. Say with that, we are coming to the end of this particular session. And in the next subsequent session or the next video, we would be covering the file permission in detail. If you find the content on this channel helpful, consider subscribing and leave a like for this video. Thank you.